We are still talking about the metric, and this is part two of determining what your number is going to be. And what we're trying to do at this point is to get you to understand what the number is you should be focusing on a daily basis, whether that number is even broken down by the hours. So you know what you're trying to do per hour, what you're trying to accomplish on a weekly basis, daily basis. You need to have a metric that you're shooting for. That metric needs to be front and center in your business. And we're trying to get to that number by we're adding to our baseline. And the baseline, of course, is that we're focusing on 1,000 true fans, 1,000 people who can pay us $100 per month. And we're also adding to that number everything that we need in order to do better in our business. Now, I do want to talk about focusing on what you need in your business. And so when we think about this, we think about the fact that internet marketers or online information marketers tend to fall in some kind of vicious cycle. We work on projects for our business, and then we then hit some serious immovable roadblock because we don't have what we need. For example, you get to the point and you've got to put together a sales page very quickly. That's even if you're using AI, and you don't exactly know how to use the tools that you have to produce the sales pages that you need. And so then we end up finishing the project, but we barely do it. And it just doesn't make as much as we thought it should. And sometimes it doesn't make anything. And that's kind of what we experience as information marketers. And when that happens, we get discouraged about it. So, we put something in motion. We didn't have everything that we needed, but we did it anyway. We took action, but it still didn't bring in as much as we feel like it should have. And then once we get discouraged, then we take breaks. And sometimes those breaks get longer and longer between times that we're trying things. And then we'll then buy something new and shiny. In other words, we're off of working on the project that made a little bit, that maybe we didn't have everything we need, but then someone comes with a method that sounds good. Someone feels as if they've got something that will give us some kind of missing link. And then we buy it because it's new and shiny. And maybe we think, hey, this is going to solve a problem. In many cases, it's a solution looking for a problem that you don't necessarily have all the time. And so when that happens, then we go and we buy some kind of tool, some kind of software, or we buy some kind of strategy that maybe will do something that maybe we're not able to do. But we never really address the core underlying issue of having what we need. So if you need a membership site or you need a sales page or you need some kind of apparatus that you need in your business, but you can't get it cheaply, what happens is we kind of wait on things. And the only way out of that is to develop some kind of methodology and to break the cycle and just purchase what we need. And in some cases, we're going to have to wait or save or sacrifice if we've got to. And even if it's not at the launch price, and we don't care about whether or not it's at the launch price, we need to make sure we've got all the tools and the training and the talent or outsourcing that we need in our business to be added to the number. And so at this point, one thing that you want to think about, just based on this one session, is this. Do you have everything that you know you need in place? And again, I'm not talking about a new method. I'm not talking about some kind of new AI tool or some kind of new AI strategy, but I mean exactly what you need. If you're building a long-term brand and you know you're trying to build authority, do you have what you need? Or have you attended all the conferences that you need? Do you have all the learning that you need? If you don't have those things, you're going to have to break the cycle of buying shiny things. And the only way you break that cycle is to spend your available dollars on what you know you need, even if you've got to wait, even if you've got to not get it at the launch price, even if everybody else has gotten it at the launch price, but you're coming at the end and you feel like, well, if I had just gotten it at the launch price, I wouldn't feel bad. Now I've got to pay full price, but that doesn't mean anything. If you know it's something that you need, if you know you need a page builder and it's no longer on sale or they're not doing a launch, you got to get it. If you know you've got to get some kind of shopping cart and you know it's got to have an affiliate program, you're just going to have to get it. And again, what doesn't matter, it doesn't matter if you're not getting a deal. What matters is that you know it fits in your business now and that you go ahead and you get it. And so you've got to figure out what all of those things are. So and calculate them. Most of us know what we need, what we're lacking right now, and you've got a pretty good idea of what that number would be. So you need to add up all of those things, all of the things that you know you've got to do in order to build a long-term brand. Whatever those things are. And again, it may be a little expensive and the number may be a little scary, but it's going to be less scary when you start focusing on it every day as opposed to just focusing on, well, I just need to make some money or I just want to do something to have impact. Well, you don't want to do that. What you want to do is you want to get to an exact number. And so what we're on the road to doing is determining what that exact number is. And we're going to determine that at this stage by getting all of those numbers down. Everything you've got to buy, all the knowledge you've got to buy, all the challenge. And again, I really want to encourage you now. Don't wait to be sold something that's a method. Go and get the training, go and get the tools, go and get the outsourcing that you need where you're determining the process. So you're not listening to what anyone else is saying. You know what you need in your business. And if you don't know what you need in your business, then you've got to go get someone to help you to determine that. So, and again, all of these things are not going to be, they're not going to put you in the same line as everyone else is doing. Most other people are going to buy what's available. They're going to get what's hot, but that's not the way we want to run a business. And you wouldn't run any other business that way. You want to run it the way any other business is going to run. You're planning it out. You're looking at what you need, and then you're saying, okay, you know what? How am I going to get it? And so we're trying to get to the daily number or even the hourly number that we need, but we can't get to it until we know for certain that that number includes all of the tools that we're going to need for this coming calendar year. So think about the tools you're going to have to get for the next 12 months, add them into the number, and then we will continue to build on this number until we get it right.